Okay, so live from the haloed halls of BITS Pilani, via BITS Connect telepresence, to tell us what's happening back home, we have Vice Chancellor Shaumik Bhattacharya and the Director of the Pilani campus, Professor Ashok Sarkar. With that, Professor, over to you. Professor, over to you now.
Yeah. Hi everybody, good morning. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, and saying hello to all of you from Pilani. So this is, I'm Shaumik, I am the Vice Chancellor, and I have Professor Sarkar, he is the Director of Pilani campus. And so we are going to have a conversation and for the next few minutes, and let's get started. So let's have the slides. And we are saying that it's a wonderful thing that you guys are doing. The first time you are organizing this BITSync, and I was talking to Sudarshan before this that we would love to be there in the next edition of BITSync with you all. So I think it's a wonderful thing you are doing for the BITS Pilani brand. I have had past experiences with several pan-IITs in the US, and very, very effective in getting across your message. And it's a wonderful connect between the institute and the entire alumni all across the world. So I'm going to start with how your beloved campus looks like today. I'm new here, as you know. I just completed three months, but take this opportunity to invite all of you to come over and experience the present Pilani campus. I'll go over a series of photographs. Before that, just a few numbers. So the entire renovation and reconstruction, creating new facilities for academic space, sports facility, all that is on. We are in the second phase, and the total project cost across all three campuses, Pilani, Hyderabad and Goa, is a pretty big number. We are talking about 1450 crore. So your own hostels. So here you go, the photographs. This is what I see from my office every day, and from the Vice Chancellor's office, and Professor Sarkar sees the same thing. So what you see on the left and right is the new academic block. Actually, I'm teaching a class in one of those classrooms, so I'll just go over. So this is right where you used to have a playground, I believe.
Yeah, the C-lawn and D-lawn.
Yeah.
They have been now converted to this.
Yeah, the C-lawn and D-lawn has become this. It's pretty impressive. And this is Budh Bhavan. Some of you must have stayed there. Renovated. It's the same structure. The interior and exterior renovated. And Ram Bhavan is after renovation. It just opened this semester, this August. So this is Ram Bhavan, as you remember. And this is the corridor of one of them, most probably Ram Bhavan. And the courtyard inside of Ram Bhavan. Yes. And so we're talking about where do we stand today in terms of rankings. So many of you know that the National Institutional Ranking Framework that was started this year by the MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development. So we competed in the university category, and you can see the screen after the IITs, no, not the IITs, some of the leading institutes like ISC and JNUs in the university category. So we are 9th, and we are the only privately owned institute in the top 10. So that's something we are very proud of, and the position is already on, and we will get to the data. India Today, the other ranks, other Outlook and others, they have ranked as well. As expected, the international ranking is not very high, but US BRICS ranking, we are just outside the top 100. And so some of the things we have in mind, I have in mind something we are going to do in the near future is we are going to engage with the government in a much bigger scale. I am raising some noise. I have done one meeting, and we're going to do a few more meetings with the Human Resource Minister, public funding of good research in excellent private institutes. So funding remains a critical issue because the IITs, one of the major IITs will get about 550 crore rupees, and we don't get nothing. We don't get anything, and then the tuition fees, which is our only source of revenue, is now comparable between what we take and what IITs take. So we are also going to engage with leading academic institutes, CFTI, the centrally funded technical institutes like the IITs and NITs. We're talking about greater mobility amongst the institutes in terms of student mobility, faculty mobility. We are going to do joint research proposals. So some of these activities have started. And I would like to see our universities, senior leadership, senior professors having a little more of national visibility, being present in various expert committees. So BITS Pilani needs to be visible amongst the leading individuals in the country in terms of the academic space. We are enhancing, intensifying the international engagement in a similar fashion, and in terms of collaboration, mobility, so various memoranda of understanding are on. We are starting joint PhD programs with a few well-known universities. That sort of effort is on, and this is going to lead to some more research funding at the international space. Internships for both undergraduate and higher degrees, we are exploring that as well. So the research space, BITS Pilani was not known to be a leading research institute. So very recently, I would say about 5 years or so, that little outlook has changed. So we are making a little more noise in the research space, and we have intensified the proposal submission, and already there is a change. And we are forming groups amongst various domains so that larger projects, grand challenge project proposals are
The international engagement, I can just mention.
Yeah.
That earlier we used to have many collaborations, but they're not working.
Yeah.
Now we are thinking of targeting a few identified, selected universities and having deeper engagement with them to start with.
That's right. So we are focusing better and identifying target areas, domains. Why do we emphasize on research? The teaching learning process, which is the flagship brand name which Pilani has been known for, that remains our strength. We must not relax that. So we will continue to maintain that leadership. As you know, that like no other institute in this country, the industry immersive curriculum with the 7.5 months of practice school, that remains, that we are looking into it, how to make it more effective, how to make it more outcome based. So teaching learning centers, that's a more recent phenomenon that has been formed across all the 4 campuses. And recently we have started our engagement with IIT Kharagpur on a government project on pedagogy framework. So we just got a decent funding, over half a crore. We're going to develop 7 courses and organize 2 national workshops. We are starting research related to this, based on cognitive science in terms of how people learning research, and we are identifying robust frameworks. This is something we are going to take up with other institutes, including IIT Kharagpur, for evaluating and rewarding good teaching, excellent teaching. So this space will continue to evolve, and we are going to bring in more people, more of our colleagues into doing good work in this. As I said, it's going to be a modest achievement, as you can see. So, but what I want to point out is that growth has been very good. It's a very recent phenomenon that the research. So, if you compare us with the leading IITs, it won't be a very good comparison. But I think the gradients are good. You can see the numbers. I don't want to repeat. But so this year we just finished 4 convocations, and we handed over 101 PhDs. I have a feeling in 2017 convocations will exceed this number handsomely. Already the early signs are on. So the numbers are going to grow, the research projects and development grants from the government sector primarily. They are competitive, so I hope our colleagues are able to write better proposals.
Keeping in view, we have started, late starter, if I consider.
Yeah.
That way, I think in research we are doing pretty well, and some of the disciplines are doing very well.
Yeah. So I must say that if I pick 3, bioscience, life science area, and pharmacy and chemistry, these 3 are leading. the engineering departments have to do a bit of catch up, and then I'm looking into this. Something we have to do some micro persuasion on this, work with some of the identified individuals, form groups and write proposals, as you know, the usual stuff. Okay, the placement picture remains reasonably good. You know, the median salary in rupees, Indian rupees lakh. So Pilani is slightly higher, this is annual salary, 6.34 and 6, Goa and Hyderabad. Of course, Dubai, different currency, so it will look better. This is converted to Indian rupees, so that should not be compared as such. In the case of students placed, these numbers are reasonable, but there is room to improve. You know, it should get into the high 90s. Dubai needs to do better, sure. This is one space where BITS Pilani is doing well when compared to even the IITs, I would say. So we are talking about incubation, entrepreneurship, innovation, that sort of thing. So if you look at some of the initiatives we have already undertaken, so there's a good bit of mentorship program that's in place. So the 3 campuses, they have these technology business incubators, TBIs, with government funding. And so the numbers, you can see the people the number of startups who have graduated. It's a bigger number for Pilani because Pilani started earlier than others. And you know, currently Hyderabad is doing well in terms of number of incubators present today. This year we submitted 2 proposals, rupees 10 crore each under what is known as Atal Incubation Mission, AIM. Niti Aayog is the new form of planning commission of Government of India. So hopefully we'll and one of the proposals is actually in collaboration with the adjoining lab, the CSIR-CD, the CSIR lab.
Another proposal is ready. We are
Yeah.
going to submit to SAIL. It is about 9 crores.
Yeah, that's a pretty big proposal with SAIL, the Steel Authority of India Limited. Our kids and some of our alums, they are combining well in various sectors. I don't have a full list here. In terms of, I call it institutional social responsibility, ISR, as opposed to CSR. And so this sort of technology intervening support extending to the underprivileged, to the rural, just to improve the lifestyle, to improve quality of life, kind of social engineering they are pursuing. So some of it is happening under the NSS, National Service Scheme, you probably remember. There's a NGO called Nirman that has been formed. It's already a 10-year-old organization, pretty large number of volunteers, 1,200, more than that. Pilani Resource Center is happening. I have a slide after this on that. Project Umang, there is a provide scholarship to underprivileged and poor kids, and some of them are succeeding well and having good higher education and stuff like that. So quite a few bouquet of programs under NSS, as you can see. So this is a pretty busy slide. I've taken it from the PRC guys. So PRC is a 1976 batch, few gentlemen and a lady actually, and so they have a facility outside the campus, just outside the campus, and it's a 17,000 square feet infrastructure. They're working on various areas: women empowerment, care for the elders, Gyan Bodh, free tuition for children. Pratham, vocational training, and science mobile vans, all kinds of things. It actually, PRC is looking for succession, so younger batches, younger alums would like to take over, partially take over, they will be very keen to talk to you. Please do so. We'll be very happy to facilitate that. So I'm going to talk about the alumni initiatives, the pictures we see are of PRC, and I'm going to talk about the kind of alumni interface that we have in mind, I have in mind. So the alumni cell, I must admit that it is not very proactive right now. I confess that. So I'm going to kind of rev it up and form a pretty proactive alumni cell, which will have close interface with you guys, or with BITSA. At the global chapter level, at the domestic chapters will be integral in the BITSA global meet every year, the one coming up in Dubai early next year. And so we'll do that. I already have a structure in mind. I'll share some of that today with you. We will form a student team, a complete student team with the current students at various levels, which will work under the Office of Dean Alumni Affairs. The Dean Alumni Affairs does not exist. So I'm going to form that in the next month or so. and that will be the connect, direct connect between you guys and us as the institute. So the university dean will be appointed, and so we'll have also an advisory board. I know you have one for BITSync, so I'll have one for the institute. Of course, this board is only from the 5 lead alums from all over the world, successful CEOs, etc. So I'll take suggestions from you guys, and so we're going to introduce official lifelong email ID for each one of you. That is being worked on. I'll announce it as soon as it's ready. So that's something you want to use. It's not going to be for storage, but for forwarding and other purposes. And we are going to start an e-newsletter from the alum cell. The student team will do it. Just a proposed name, bits and bytes, but can be something else. I have some alumni-funded schemes, so the funds have to keep coming. But then these are the schemes I have in mind. I have a clear structure in mind that I'm going to put in place as soon as we start this dialogue with you all. So endowments for chair professorship, research scholar fellowship. Let me spend a minute on this. The research scholars at the PhD students at all the national institutes, IITs, NITs, even institutes far inferior to us, they get 25,000 rupees per month to start with, and then the first year they start getting 28,000 rupees per month. We're not able to, so IITs get 550 crore per year, each IIT gets, block grants. And so they're able to do this. For example, IIT Kharagpur has close to 3,000 research scholars. So you can imagine about 3.5 lakh rupees per year for each research scholar. So it's pretty big money. But we are not able to compete with them in terms of quality of research scholars, in terms of number of research scholars, because we are not able to pay that sort of money. Currently, we are paying 18,000 rupees, which is reasonable, but I think we need to match the IITs. So here we need funds to remain competitive in terms of quality research, in terms of quality of PhD students, and also the quantity. So we are talking about new faculty research seed fund. This is the research seed money you gave to new fresh assistant professor recruits. Currently we are giving 2 lakh rupees, and only a few, like less than 5%, we give about 10 lakh rupees and a little more. But generally it's only 2 lakh rupees as a new assistant professor joins. That amount is 28 lakh rupees for IIT Kharagpur, 50 lakh rupees for IIT Delhi. So you can see the gap. So how do you expect to get good assistant professors? Good research scholars, good PhD students, good assistant professors, they form the core team to do the research in any academic institute. So we need to work on this. This is something I really find very, very critical. We must correct the situation to remain in competition. International Visiting Professor Endowment Fund, I'll talk about this in a slide following this. So this is something I want to start, founding endowment batch campaign. So one particular batch, let's say one particular year, 1990, 2000 batch, 2015 batch, whatever, they can do something like, the amount is only indicated. So there is an amount, and that's a founding endowment batch, I call it FEB. And you've got to start identifying a batch leader, and then something happens around him or her. It will be your effort, of course, but we will facilitate. The entire money will be monitored by a board of alumni and the dean. We'll have annual reports, so it will be absolutely transparent. We'll be reporting back quite frequently. The batch will be given a privilege to name a classroom. We can take the new academic block, which photography is just off, as a starter, and then we'll have the names, all the donors of that batch firmly engraved. So everybody, every student going into that classroom, all the batches, it will be a very good public visibility. This is our way to help you all, how to leave your legacy behind, and you'll all be remembered by all graduating batches, so all future graduating batches. Another scheme I have in mind is International Endowment Fund, the visiting overseas expert. I know Professor Adar Chaudhary is a participant in BITSync. We had a good conversation with him in the Dubai convocation. He was the Distinguished Alumnus Awardee in the Dubai convocation last month, and this month. And so similar such experts who are excelling in academics in the US, in Europe, and even in India. So we want to bring them back for a very short microcredit subject on a niche area subject in like 2 weeks. And There will be an anchoring faculty. I have a clear structure in mind, so it will be only for 10 days, so because the overseas person cannot spend too much time. And around this initiative, we'll also have a joint PhD program with the affiliating institute of the visiting expert, and accordingly, we'll also have academic and research linkages embedded. So you can have a class gift, an initiative to give back to your alma mater. It can be an installation, architectural outdoor installation. During the grand reunion, during the BGM, we can have days dedicated to a single batch to unveil their gift. All sorts of possibilities. Of course, it goes without saying that we recognize the alumni as you all as our ambassadors, our experts, our mentors, our donors, our friends, of course, finally. So we have Distinguished Alumnus Award already instituted. We will start Distinguished Service Award. Somebody who is not an alum but is doing wonderful work for BITS Pilani will have the Distinguished Service Award. We bring them to our notice, we'll do that. We'll have committees, including you all, to do this. We'll institute start a Life Fellow, which is a much bigger award. We might have this one occasionally. So the impact is pretty obvious. I'll skip that. So we're talking about not just fundraising, we're talking about friend raising. So that's my way of saying that ultimately it's well beyond, it's much more than what is usually conceived as the only contribution from the alums. It's not just that. There is so much more that you all have been doing, you all will be doing, but we just want to structure it, we want to intensify it. So it's not just the giving, it's all about how much heart you put into giving. So that's something I really believe in. It's from the bottom of my heart. And all of us, all the faculty members, all my colleagues in BITS Pilani, we believe that this connect has to get stronger. There are no two ways about it. So we are going to have very large donors, that will be a small base, and we'll have a very large base of relatively smaller donors. That's usually the picture in any academic institute all over the world. And obviously, needless to say that we need your generous support in all forms. And I know Mr. B.P. Agarwal is there, and he mentioned that we should have a mega fundraising campaign. So you decide what that amount, whether if the unit is going to a million or something else, anything. So I will not get into that, but as soon as you have your ideas, I am ready to start the dialogue. And as you know, your gift will be invested, it will never be dissipated. We are going to use that as a corpus and use the interest for various schemes that I discussed. That's just the beginning, that's just a few sample ideas that I have at this moment. And while I found the university alumni cell, it has to have great synergy, great harmony with BITSA. I know that there are a lot of issues that you have in mind, but I will make sure personally, I stand by that for the next 5 years to work closely with BITSA personally and with my new university alumni cell. And so thank you guys for this opportunity. I think you guys are doing this, it's a fantastic thing for this brand building of BITS Pilani, the BITSync initiative. I hope you will have BITSync every year. I wish this means a grand success. Let's work together. I'm sure BITS Pilani will glow brighter. And want you guys back on this grand campus to any of the 4 campuses, whichever is convenient. Want you guys during convocation, during important institute function. And as I say, cheers. Thank you so much.